Okay, the fireside chat has just ended a few hours ago, and you're probably wanting to know what they all said, what was talked about without having to watch 2 hours. Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. I do ask you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button before we go over it, but we're not going to waste time. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into what it is they talked about, and let's give you a summary so you don't have to watch it. But if you do, there will be a link in the description for you to watch the whole video. Okay, let's get right in here. Okay, Diablo 4 recap campfire chat. The things they talked about were the game's launch overview, just how it went, community feedback, the hot topics the community has, such as things like dungeons, the blighted corpse issue, for necros, renown, inventory issues, resistances, server stability and slash hardcore issues, world boss cache higher than character level, unique dropping bugs, and social features, as well as they did take community questions from, I believe they were using Twitch, but from their chat right on the spot, and we will go over each one of those and the answer to it. Okay, first off, the launch overview. They said it went smooth, only a few issues. They have been manning the game for 24/7 to cover any issues. They've issued so far 11 hot fixes. Player base has played over 350 million hours of play, which is amazing with the game only being 10 days in. That's insane. Season 1 will be coming mid to late July. Awesome. They did say they're also planning on buffs. They've got the baseline, so buffs should be coming for basically all the classes, is a takeaway I got. We shouldn't see nerfs, so which is good. But community feedback, they want to leave the builds in a good state. They want to fix the oddballs that are not along that axis, that line. They want to fix the ones that are the points outside. So the outfielders, the outliers, I guess, if you will, and they want to target the skills, items, and the issues that people are having, and not just big nerfs or just general buffs and nerfs. They don't want to just buff weaker classes, because one of the things they talk about is, well, if we have one class that is outperforming the rest, why can't we just buff all the others and bring it up to that level? And the logic behind it is understandable. They don't want to do that because, well, one, simply, when you just have one that's outperforming the rest, why bring all the rest up to them when you have to then tweak so many different skills, classes, everything else just to get them on that same playing field, when you can simply focus on the outlier and bring it down to equal areas with everyone else? So focus on the one instead of bringing everybody up to where the one's outperforming. It makes sense. It's a lot less work for them. It's more manageable. I get it, and I agree with it. Okay. And then they talked about dungeons. They've already addressed lots of things with dungeons. They have removed elite packs from elite dense dungeons. Nightmare dungeons are supposed to be, their intention behind the nightmare dungeons is that's where you're supposed to go to farm. That's what you're supposed to do to get your higher level gear. That's where you're supposed to spend your time. And right now, that's not the case when your elite mobs and the mobs are higher density in the easier and lower dungeons. They're going to increase the amount of experience for the nightmare dungeons, as well as the speed to complete them. So that's going up. They're going to give you and modify the sigils so you can teleport directly to the dungeon, which will drastically change the travel time. So that's awesome. You can go directly to dungeons instead of having to travel to and from. This allows you to hop from nightmare dungeon to nightmare dungeon to nightmare dungeon, which is sweet. That's awesome. Great. No issues there. I agree 1,000% with the changes. They are listening to us, the community, in their threads, Reddit, on Blizzard's website, wherever there's a thread, they're watching it actively and monitoring it, and they're hearing our complaints. So that's awesome. They addressed issues with, trying to remember the order here, with, I want to say, the blighted necromancers. The issue with where if you're playing a necro and you can't really see other ground effects that are going on with your blighted corpse explosion, the dark skills with the necromancer where they leave the shadow or the pool of goo that does damage over time. When that's there, you can't see other things underneath it. So you might be standing in your own blighted corpse explosion and not know that you're being burned or on fire. And they are going to address that so you can actually see other ground effects being used within the skill. They're going to be highlighted more, however they need to do that, but you'll be able to see that you're being attacked and taking damage from underneath your own ground effects. So that's awesome. They addressed inventory issues. Things like the gems and the skulls are a massive inventory problem. They're a pain for me, where you'll be playing and you just run out of inventory because of the gems and skulls, and it just seems kind of silly that they take up inventory space anyways. They should be in their own tab under materials, which is they're looking at a possible fix by season 2, which season 1 is already done. They stated it several times. Season 1 is done. It's just in quality control, QA, making sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and it's polished and finished and ready to go out before they release it. So it's done. And the reason they keep saying season 2 and why they're working on it already is why I say this is because they keep using season 2 as the next focus point for when things are rolling out. So season 1's done. They can't add any more into it. So season 2 is where the inventory and the gems and skull issue is going to be fixed. They're going to hopefully put it into a materials tab on the character screen. So you no longer, hopefully they will no longer take up your inventory space, which would be awesome. They also address the materials cap, which I haven't ran into this. Maybe you guys have, but materials are set to 10,000 for cap, so you can't go higher than that apparently. But they said there's no reason for it, and they're gonna increase the cap. So prior to season 1 being ended for that one, materials cap will go higher than 10,000 prior to season 1. So that will be likely a hotfix. Renown. They did address renown being awarded from exploration, the altars of Lilith, and that with the new seasons, the exploration renown, so your fog of war on the map, and the altars of Lilith, that will carry over on your character once season 1 comes. You don't have to redo all those. You will keep those. You don't have to go and uncover your whole map. You don't have to go and re-find all the altars. So that's awesome. Great. Your map will be revealed to the extent that you have done it before season 1. So if you've uncovered the whole thing will be uncovered for you come season 1. You'll get all the renown in a bank essentially, and then once season 1 kicks off, you get it. It's there for you. City waypoints, only the main city waypoints will be active. However, to allow you to get renown from different activities, you should be able to reach the first 2 tiers of renown rewards straight away with the maximum exploration and altar bonuses. So you're going to have a bank of renown that gets you the first 2 tiers right away, which is sweet. They will affect your alts in the same way, so your alts will be taken care of as well, which is awesome. They discussed resistances. They basically said there's a lot of work, a lot of things they have to do for resistances and the scaling and the different things with resistances. and the amount of effort that has to go into it. And they believe that maybe people are bypassing using resistances for other things because they just don't simply know what they do or if they're even working or anything like that. So they're looking into that stuff, like the multiplicative, additive versus multiplicative, the penalties, that stuff worth your resistances. There's a lot of work and it's complex, and they are trying to figure out a way to fix it without messing up a whole bunch of other things. And they are hoping to fix issues with resistances and make them more viable for others by season 2. They didn't really give they're hoping for season 2 on that one, but they basically said it's a lot of work and there's a lot that goes into that. So they didn't really say for certain that one will come out in season 2 for resistances. So that might be a longer wait with how much they're basically saying how hard of a tackle that one will be. So we'll see. They address server issues, stability issues, and for hardcore players, like they're looking, they addressed on stream where there's been hardcore players that their characters have simply died while teleporting. Not good. Or they have died from DCing. Not good. Basically, you die in hardcore and you're done. So they are looking at a way that if you get DC'd or something else of that issue, where if you're playing and you disconnect, they are going to have a scroll of escape, is what he called it, that can be bound to a hotkey to get out of danger. You can use it. They're apparently not too hard to get or find, so you can use it once, it'll be gone, but you can go get another one. But they are wanting to make sure that if you get DC'd and you have that scroll of escape bound or in your inventory at all, it'll automatically deploy and put you back into the city. And when you come back in from that DC, you'll be safe, you'll be protected. It's a fail safe is what they're hoping. You'll only get one of those at a time, the scroll of escapes, and it looks like you can just get more possibly. So if you're not there to make sure that your character's safe where you're fighting bosses or dungeons and you get DC'd, you're not just going to die. It'll get you out of there. In a nutshell is what they're looking at for that, for hardcore stuff. The world boss cache for the higher than character levels, they said it's a bug where your cache from the world bosses are dropping with much higher equipment and you can't open it, can't use it. It is a bug, and it's being addressed. So it will be fixed. So they assured, don't worry about that. That is just a bug. Still sucks, but they're going to fix it. Unique dropping bugs. They said this is essentially for barbarians, dropping items for druids. Not intended. They didn't want it to be that way. They said it will be corrected in a patch prior to season 1 being fixed, or prior to season 1 being deployed. So the barbarians dropping for druid stuff, bug, didn't want it to happen. They're looking at different social features for players for being able to group together for dungeons and world bosses and that stuff. They're seeing right now that it is, and they're hearing that it's difficult for people that might not be part of clans or have a large group of friends that they can get together with and do these dungeons or these world bosses or these things. So they're looking at social features or abilities that will allow for partying with randoms or what have you, to be able to, for people that don't really have a large friend group, to do these dungeons and these world bosses. They didn't really give a time frame for that. And then that's essentially, in a nutshell, all the big things they addressed in the 2 hours there. They did go over community questions directly from their chat, so we'll go over those. They wanted to know, for teleporting to players, Right now, the current process is you have to go back to Kaivashad or whatever main city, and then there's another portal that you go into for your friend, and then you can just teleport directly from them. But right now, like in Diablo 3, you used to be able to right-click on their name and then teleport to player. That's not in Diablo 4. That's not really on the table right now. They said they'll look at it, but there's no plans. So right now, there's no being able to teleport to a party member other than using the current press down on your D-pad or T for town, and then going from Kaivashad or your main city to the player. So right now, no, there's no other functions being for teleporting or make it quicker. Any plans? One of the people asked for resource regeneration if they want to, or if there's any plans to add buffs for that. They basically said there are buffs coming for almost everyone in general, for everything. But for resource regeneration, they said you have to be extremely careful with resource regeneration because it doesn't take long when you start adding buffs to that area where your buffs will then outpace the use of your resources. So they are looking at those things, but they have to be extremely careful with that. But the buffs are coming. Are they going to keep quarterly updates coming for the game? Really, they are going to have more updates. They're going to have campfire chats like today. They're going to keep it coming and updates and keep involved and keep us all up to date with every update, things that they're doing. So it's good news. They're going to be there. We're going to know about things. They're not going to stop doing them. Are they going to? One person asked, which on me, this I could care less. Are they going to add more character optimization or character customization in game? More options to do that, because right now you can change some things, but you can't change all. They said, yeah, though, but right now they essentially said yes, but right now that's not the top of the priority list. They'd rather get all these other more important things fixed before worrying about, well, can I cut my hair? Can I change my cheekbones and that stuff? But they did say that, yes, they're looking at it. And essentially, another question was a side quest tab coming to the journal. Is there one? They do want to be able to use the journal to track things, be able to track different things in the way that it operates. So with future patches or hot fixes, whatever, right now, no, but that will come. So that is it, guys. I just saved you 2 hours of watching a video and got it done for you in, let's take a look at the watch here, in 18 minutes. So 2 hours of video in 18 minutes, and that is essentially all of it. If you want to watch the whole thing, be my guest, but I already did, and that's it. So if you want to watch it, link is in the description. Feel free, but you're not really going to get anything other than I just told you, unless you just want to see it for yourself. And there was some fun banter, and it was fun back and forth, and it was very laid back, and they were very transparent with everything, which was awesome, and I appreciated that. Overall, I enjoyed the campfire chat. Everything, all the changes they're making are positive to me. Let me know in the comments if you want to see things that they didn't discuss, or things that you're not happy about, or what your thoughts are. Because overall, I'm happy with it, and I like how they're going to keep this game evolving. They're gonna keep things coming. It's gonna be, we're gonna be playing Diablo 4 for a long time. They confirmed expansions already. Confirmed season 2 is coming. They didn't specifically say season 2 is coming or expansions are coming, but they essentially did. So we've got expansions coming. We got season 2 coming. Awesome. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Again, ask you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hope to see you all out in Sanctuary.